So, how can you tell friends and family about the narcissist? How can you expose them to mutual friends and family members? I know a lot of people really try, like, it's something that seems natural that you would want to tell people around you what this person is doing. And my suggestion to you is that it's going to be a hard road, and you're probably not going to get the response from people that you are hoping for. And the reason for that is that the narcissist is going to show different people different versions of themselves. So you might be telling your aunt or your sister about your mom, and they have no frame of reference for that version of the abusive person that you see. They have no idea what you're talking about. And if you are to the point where you are ready to go no contact, or that you're just kind of fed up with everything, you are likely the scapegoat or one of the people that is sort of disposable. And I guarantee they have already started a little quiet campaign against you to discredit you. Because as much as they need to vent and be ugly and have somebody to be ugly around, they deeply, deeply want to preserve that image of themselves that they have with other people. And so it's like think of it like an insurance policy, right? They don't know if they're going to need it or not, but it's in their best interest to sort of lay the groundwork that you are hysterical, that you are a liar, that you can't be trusted, that they're having issues with you, that you exaggerate things. So it's their little insurance policy. And maybe they need it and you did tattle on them. In that case, all of the lies that they told other people about you will kick in to protect them. And, it's tough because you love people, and a lot of times people are going to be like, well, if I stop talking to everybody who still supports the narcissist, and if they really are flying monkeys, or if they're nagging me or pressuring me to get back, like, I have nobody left to talk to. That's hard. That is very, very hard. And I truly feel your pain. I really, really do. Because that's a huge shock. You're like already going through the shock of like discovering this about somebody that you love and trusted, and now you're starting to see the mask fall, and you're just looking for something to hold on to or some sort of support. And when you go to people and you don't get that support, it's like salt in the wound. So I just want to take a minute to tell you that the way that they are responding to you is like how a lot of people are going to respond to you. A lot of people in your situation are going to have similar stories to tell you about how, when they tried to reach out to friends and family, nobody believed them. And that's because the tactics and the strategies in the insurance policy smear campaign, it's just popular. It's just popular schemes. And so we're all kind of in that same boat together. And I think the most helpful thing that I could tell you is to not try to convince anybody of anything. Let people make up their own mind. Let them see things for themselves. Don't feel like you need to justify your position. Don't feel like you need to convince anybody of anything. This is your own mental and spiritual well-being that you are protecting. It could be your children that you're protecting, your marriage that you're protecting, your job, your whole, the peace that's in your life. You're protecting that. And so let that be the number one priority. And if other people listen to you because you love people, you want to warn them, I would say it once. And if that person has seen little things they'll be like, you know what, I did notice something weird, or you talk, and then you start speaking truth to each other and say like, well, they told me you said this and you said this. So if it's somebody that you love and you trust, and they actually love and trust you too, then you can have dialogue about it and maybe reconnect. I know my sister and I went 4 years without speaking to each other, and I love my sister. She used to live with me, my little sister, and we went 4 years without speaking to each other because my mom was lying to me, and then my mom was lying to my sister, and we didn't hash it out between us because my mom kept interfering and saying, oh, but don't say anything, don't tell her I told you, and then it's like bad feelings, right? So if you go and tell that person, and that person's open and that person loves you, then you can have resolution, because after I found out that my mom was a narcissist, I went back and I was like, hey, to my sister, and said, this is what I see about mom. And she said, that's what I've been telling you for years. Like, that's what I've been trying to explain to you, and you never listened to me. And so then we were able to communicate. And after I saw my mom's mask slip, then when my sister would say something about her, I didn't automatically default to my mom's version of my sister's hysterical, my sister exaggerates, my sister basically cannot be trusted, her version of reality can't be trusted. So once that was broken and I could talk to my sister, then we reconnected, and it's been 6 years, and I don't think anything's going to break that, because we'll always go back to asking. The promise we made to each other was like, I will never be mad at you ever based on what somebody else says you did. I'm going to listen for myself and make a decision. And she promised me the same thing, and our relationship was restored, and it's better and stronger than ever. Now, if I try to do that with my dad or my brother, they're just going to defend my mom. So, you just have to let people have what they want. If they are dead set on maintaining that image that they have of the narcissist, and they are not open to your version, they're not open. You need to respect that. They're fine with the way their relationship is. Maybe they're not abused. Maybe they're not, they don't see it in any kind of negative way. And you really can't tell people about something like that. You have to show them, they have to see it. They have to see snippets of when the mask falls. And maybe they will. Like, for example, if you're the scapegoat in the family and then you leave and you go no contact, well, the narcissist doesn't just not have a scapegoat anymore. They need a scapegoat. So then maybe somebody who wasn't abused before will start to get abused. Or maybe somebody who was just annoyed and nagged now gets bumped up, and the things against them get ramped up. And then that person can see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears all of those things that you were trying to tell them. So I would say just be patient. The truth always comes out, and you can't control people. Nobody wants to be controlled. I definitely don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to be told what to think. So I keep that in mind when I speak to other people, and I let them make their own decisions. Like, it's not my place to tell you what to think. I can bring up things that I think that you should be aware of, and maybe with time you'll see it and maybe you won't, but I've now done my part. I've warned you, and if you heed my warning, fine. If you don't, that's okay. If you're mad at me for what I said, and you start die hard defending the narcissist, and you don't want anything to do with me because you think I'm a terrible person, I'm fine with that. Like, there's nothing on my conscience. I warned you, and you can do whatever you want with that information. And that might seem very hard, but ultimately, if your goal is to have peace and your goal is to have calm and tranquility, and you are very opposed to chaos and to darkness and to depression and just this feeling of overwhelm, and this, you're just trying to get away from all of that. And so you might really care about that person who's not listening to you, but you might need to just give them some space, and who knows what time will bring. So don't take it personally. your experience with the narcissist is not the same as somebody else's. And I think it's tempting to feel like they're choosing the narcissist over you, and that's very sad. But at the same time, they have no idea what you're talking about. So you have to, you just have to let things go or put it on pause. Just think of it like I'm pausing my relationship with my sister or my brother or my dad for a while, and I'm open to it in the future. I'm not going to be angry and bitter about it because that's only going to hurt myself. I'm not going to say, like, I can't believe you didn't believe me, and I'm not going to forgive you for not believing me, and how could you choose my mom over me? Like, I thought you cared about me, and just go down this very, no, just give people time and space, and you give yourself that time and space away from the narcissist. And the more time you spend away from toxic people, the clearer your thinking is going to be, the calmer your reactions are going to be, because you're not being poisoned. And you can be poisoned by what somebody is saying to you, or saying about you, or what they're doing, or what they're saying to other people and stirring up trouble. So you can be in a toxic environment and slowly getting sick, or you can be getting injected with this poison and injected with those lies. So it's up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay in that toxic environment trying to convince people who aren't listening that you are right? Like, you know you're right. So warn them and move on. And my recommendation would be just to kind of, in your heart, leave that door open. And maybe when they have more experience and time goes by, the mask will slip on the narcissist and you'll get that loved one back. But in the meantime, just work on trying your very best to forgive yourself, forgive the narcissist. And I know that sounds crazy, but you have to, in order to move on, in order to stop obsessing about them and what they did to you, it starts with forgiveness. With forgiveness, you get freedom and you get your life back. And you can see what else is out there. And it's a big fat lie that life is always hard and time is always stressful. The times are always stressful and chaotic and scary, and like this hurricane coming through all the time. It doesn't have to be like that. So take responsibility for your part in it, for what you can do, what you can learn from it, and take those experiences, make something good come from that. And hopefully you'll look back on it and say, well, that was kind of like an emotional obstacle course. I got through it. I'm stronger. I've got experience. And now if somebody comes at me trying to do those same techniques, I will recognize it and I will stay completely away from them. So I hope you have a good night. Hope you find this helpful. And I look forward to your comments. Like and subscribe if you like this channel. Share it with a friend if you think that somebody might be, having a hard time, and maybe one of these videos might help them to see the beauty that is in our day-to-day life, and not let the narcissist set the tone, because the tone with them is always going to be very, very dark. And there's just too much beauty in the world to let that happen. So protect your peace. I will talk to you guys again soon, and I hope you have a wonderful night.